Good morning to you guys. Good morning, Avid. Good morning, Andy. Glad you guys are in here. December the 17th, 2024. We're quickly wrapping up this year, y'all. Joey Bartlett, welcome in. We are going to be in Proverbs 17 today to coincide with that date, December the 17th, 2024. And if y'all would join me, let's get started. Let's see. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame and will share an inheritance among the brothers. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the hearts. An evildoer gives heed to a false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. Verse 5, he who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished. And there's a note on verse 5. Let's see there. Note says, the poor and needy are easy targets because they are powerless, but all people are made in God's image. Genesis 1:27. To mock the poor is to mock God. To be glad over someone's misfortune makes one culpable before God. And that is true. We are all made in God's image. I got to turn the brightness down just a little bit on my phone here. Let's see. That'll help. Verse 6, children's children are the crown of an old man, and the glory of children is their father. Excellent speech is not becoming to a fool, much less lying lips to a prince. A present is a precious stone in the eyes of the possessor. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friends. Rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fool. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cubs rather than a fool in his folly. I don't want to meet either one of them. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. Verse 14, the beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore, stop contention before a quarrel starts. Let's look at that note. Starting an argument, the beginning of strife, may seem harmless, but it can release a flood of damage like a small crack in a dam. The answer is to stop contention before it begins. Yeah, I don't like to argue. I got a family member that used to like to argue, hadn't been quite a while, but he told me, he said, I'm not arguing. I'm just debating. I said, well, your debating's making me mad, and I don't want to be upset when we see each other at Thanksgiving. I'm not debating. This was BC, by the way. Let's see. Where am I? Verse 15. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the just, both of them alike are an abomination to the Lord. Why is there in the hand of a fool the purchase price of wisdom, since he has no heart for it? Verse 17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born from adversity, or for adversity. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. and that was verse 17. The note says, relationships built on love and fidelity are a rare treasure. True friends are faithful in times of adversity as well as prosperity. Absolutely true. Absolutely. I got some of those true friends myself. Verse 18, a man devoid of understanding shakes hands in a pledge and becomes surety for his friend. Verse 19, he who loves transgression loves strife, and he who exalts his gate seeks destruction. Let's look at the note on verse 19. It says, exalts his gate means building a doorway that is too high to support itself. Some people seem to thrive when they are offending others. In their love of a fight, they have a way of pushing those around them to the breaking point. In similar fashion, the one who builds a doorway too high will most assuredly see the doorway collapse. Don't be under it. Verse 20, he who has a deceitful heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. He who begets a scoffer does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. A wicked man accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. Verse 24. Wisdom is in the sight of him who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. And let's look at a note there on verse 24. It says, like a student who hears nothing of what his teacher says because his attention is focused elsewhere. That was me in the classroom. The fool who is inattentive to the instruction of wisdom is said to have his eyes on the ends of the earth. Focus on the Lord. Everything else will fall in line. Verse 25. A foolish son is a grief to his father and bitterness to her who bore him. Also, to punish the righteous is not good, nor to strike princes for their uprightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of a calm spirit. Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his peace. When he shuts his lips, he is considered perspective. Yeah, that goes along with saying my grandpa said all my life. Even a blind sow finds an acorn every now and then. Let's flip over to Ephesians chapter 6. I'm going to start in verse 10, go through verse 20. We're going to put our armor on, y'all. Boy, howdy. I can't believe next week's Christmas week. This year has just flown by. Verse 10, chapter 6 of Ephesians. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on a breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Good morning, Rebecca. Welcome in. Glad you joined us. Do the redneck weather report, y'all. That's my notice. It is done. Glad y'all joined me this morning. It is a Tuesday morning, 39 degrees here this morning. Yesterday, it was 59 degrees here this in the morning at 4 a.m. And we're going to get to 63 degrees today, and we got to 64 yesterday. So not a big movement yesterday. Crazy weather for December. God bless y'all. Challenge y'all to go be a blessing for someone else today. And we will see you back here tomorrow. Love each and every one of y'all. Have a